following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Ken Gidge, and this is The Art of Politics, and I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the most exciting shows you have ever seen. We have Donald Trump here. Well, he's not here. He's in hologram. So I'm going to ask him just one question. He said I can ask him one question, and then he's got to run. So ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump, how are you?
I'm excellent, thank you.
I have one question to ask you. Are you freaking crazy? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in one moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we're lucky because we have Al Baldessaro. Al, of course, is still in Cleveland, but we do have him as a hologram. And I'm not sure if we can hear him, but I know we can see us. So I'm going to ask him one question. Al Baldessaro.
Yes.
Are you freaking crazy? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with my guest who's actually here physically. Maybe his first name is Bart. I don't know how to pronounce his last name. He is a representative. He sits across from me in, where are we? Commerce Committee, yeah. Of course. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bart, whatever his name is, from
Bedford.
Bedford? And
Bedford.
how do you pronounce your last name?
Frometh.
One question I want to ask you.
Yes.
Are you freaking crazy voting for Trump?
Well, I mean, you know, I think, no, I'm not actually. I'm after the convention last night, I'm feeling a little bit better about his candidacy. I supported Rand in the primary. I'm recent to getting behind my party's nominee, but
did you see his anything about him today?
And as far as
yeah, well, he did a press conference today, and
he said he didn't
talked about
Ted Cruz's endorsement or something like that.
Yeah, Ted Cruz's father sitting with Lee Harvey Oswald.
He said that today?
Oh yes, and he said, "Well, I didn't say."
Are you sure he said that today?
Today, and he also.
I haven't read that headline.
He also said today. He said, "Well, I didn't say he assassinated him or he's involved with." And then he brings his person out who does all his tweets. And behind them is the Vice President of the United States, which I think he forgot. Finally, they get rid of her. Someone goes, "You're Vice President." The Vice President says, "Boy, am I happy to be here. I'm blessed. It's got to be a word from God."
You've already lost me. I have no idea.
He's crazy. All right.
Well, at the same time, you're voting for Hillary. This is a battle between two of the least beloved candidates of all time.
Absolutely, but
I'm just saying, like, if we're going to fight fair, let's fight fair.
No, hold on a second. You may not like her, but honest to God,
that would be my exact same argument with you.
She can keep her mind focused on one thing for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 paragraphs, maybe a whole page. Donald Trump can't keep his mind on anything other than himself.
Wait, are you saying that Hillary is somehow a selfless individual?
Absolutely.
I mean, there's no way that even my dear liberal Democrat friends can't say with a straight face.
All right. So we did some fact checking. I know how you like fact checking. All right.
Wait, can I finish? I mean, can I have a couple minutes?
You may.
You know, you took some time taking some shots at my nominee, but I find it to be a little bit hilarious that, here we are throwing tomatoes at each other in terms of where we stand this November. Okay, I don't like your candidate. You don't like my candidate. I'm just saying, we're going here and we're taking shots at each other's party nominees. But at least my party nominee got there through the correct process. Your party nominee, as it came out today in all the hacked DNC emails, rigged the Democrat primary.
Through correct.
She used the Democrat National Committee staff.
Low energy.
What did the FBI director say about her again?
Butch.
Extremely
Bush.
reckless, I think was
what? Lying Ted. I mean,
I think we're talking Donald Trump and Hillary.
Is that it? Is that it?
What?
Is this how your candidate's going to handle things? Does he think his vice president is less important than bringing the person up to talk about his emails? Does this make any sense after the convention to talk about Ted Cruz's father and the Kennedy assassination?
The difference is that I will readily admit my candidate has significant flaws.
Significant flaws?
But see, I'm at peace with that. I'm not trying to go out there and preach from the mountaintops. Look how fantastic and flawless my candidate is.
Not in peace with that. You want to know why?
Well, we're part of a two-party system. There's
you
many
know,
times
you know
I'm not at
why
peace with
you're not in peace with that?
Why am I not at peace?
Okay. You're in commerce as I am.
Yes.
Correct? You sit across from me, correct? We laugh at each other.
We do. We have a good time.
We have a good time. If somebody got up there as chair and started talking about the Kennedy assassination and wouldn't get to doing business, told about how many tweets they were doing, but didn't get to do business, told you how many people were dying on the streets and how bad it is, but didn't get to business. The question I have to ask, is that who you're going to vote for?
I'm sorry, I apologize. Is this a presidential campaign when they're out there, speaking platitudes and trying to tell people what they want to hear? That's exactly what every single presidential candidate has done prior to
about
Trump.
Kennedy assassination with Ted Cruz?
You bring up this Kennedy assassination thing.
He just said it today.
I did not see that headline. I saw him saying
you believe me, I wouldn't lie to you.
I don't know.
I'd fib a little, but I wouldn't lie.
I know that there was some comment that he made about Ted Cruz's father back during the primary. He said a lot of nasty stuff.
Does that at all bring to mind somebody who really wants to win, but to use the Kennedy assassination, his father is with Oswald? And he's the last one, by the way.
Oswald is the...
All right. Well, he's dead now. Who cares? You can't hear us. So I mean, I got a question. Does that make any sense to you?
Is what?
You just heard me.
Donald does not run a campaign the way I would choose to run our campaign. He doesn't say things that I would choose to say or
lying.
But you can't.
In this election, president.
In this election, is trying to say that Donald Trump is a liar and that I should take the high road with Hillary. I mean, there's no people in your own party you can't convince of that. So why would you bring such a ludicrous argument to the table between these two candidates?
I'll tell you.
There's no candidate with a longer trail of lies and deceit than Hillary Clinton.
You know something? If we took just
this isn't Barack Obama. This isn't Barack Obama who got people excited about a message and a vision that he had for the country. I disagree with Barack Obama immensely on about 80% of issues. But at the end of the day, similar to Bernie Sanders, the things that he spoke about on the campaign trail, I understood why people got excited about that. Because he was espousing beliefs.
Do you find that exciting? Did he excite you?
I think he's an excellent campaigner.
Well, I'll tell you what.
And he doesn't have a trail of scandals 3 miles long.
Today, when he started talking about the Kennedy assassination,
I didn't see that.
He got me excited. Okay?
Barack or Donald?
I hear more people, especially Republicans, say, I will not vote for Hillary. I'm not voting for him.
Yeah, no, I think there's a lot of people out there that are not voting for Hillary or Donald. And
well, how about some fact-checking for his speech last night? Did you think you were going to get involved
What do you and Huffington Post have to say to me today?
Okay. Let me see. How bad crime is in the United States?
Actually, it's not the United States. He clarified inner city crime is on the rise, and that was actually checked as a half-truth by PolitiFact.
A half-truth?
Ken, I'm here to tell the truth. I'm not going to go ahead and lie to you.
So let me see.
Go. Tell me the half that's wrong.
Crime in the United States
In inner cities.
is lower
Inner cities.
now
Kenneth Gidge.
than it was with Ronald Reagan.
Crime overall throughout the country is slightly down. But violent crime.
Slightly down?
Yes.
It's down by a lot since he's got in there. Since he's been president for 8 years.
All I've seen is just.
All you've seen is what they want you to see.
No. What he wants me to see is that crime is up, Ken. That's what, I'm trying to be honest, trying to have an honest conversation with our friendly viewers out there. But what he said last night was that violent crime in the inner cities is up significantly, and that is
And
true.
how much? How much? 60%, did he say?
I don't know what the
That's
exact
not
percentage-
true.
Again, it was checked out as by PolitiFact, one of your favorite groups,
that's not.
as
You're,
a half
You're
truth.
right about in the cities. Absolutely correct. Just a little.
What
Not
did you say? It was
60.
2,000 gun deaths
not
in Chicago since like.
60%. Oh, Chicago. Forget Chicago.
But that's the capital.
Chicago's is so far gone.
That is
out
the capital
control.
of your team, the evil empire. That's where they all come from. That's their big nest.
Evil empire.
That's where you spawn all of your great liberal
So
minds.
that's really a lie. You know something?
What?
The fact of the matter is that there are, 8 billion people, close to 8 billion people?
What, in the United States? No,
Yeah.
350 million in the United States.
8 billion people in the
If
United States. Am I flustering you at all? What am I doing?
Ken, you're the one that just said there was 8 billion people in the United States. I just corrected you.
I said the
If
world.
PolitiFact was out here checking your stats right now, you get
All right,
a
is
big
there
Pinocchio.
8 billion people in the world?
Yeah, in the world.
Okay, in the world. So, it would be far easier for you to win the lottery on your birthday 10 years in a row than it would be to be killed by a terrorist. How's that for a statistic?
But you just took that out of the air.
How is that for a
I
statistic?
actually would strongly disagree with that statistic.
You would.
It just doesn't, you're telling me that
You would.
I have a chance of, what was it, 10 years in a row winning the lottery before I got attacked
On
by
your birthday. On your birthday.
I have to imagine that those odds are much longer than 1 in 8 billion.
No, because it wouldn't even come close to 8 billion.
1 in 8 billion, is that, if that's my measuring stick, my chance of getting killed by a terrorist on my birthday 10 years in a row, I have to think that
But
that's like
it's
1 in
a better chance.
a quadrillion.
It's a better chance of getting killed if you're in Syria, carrying an American flag and yelling and screaming,
Can you
"Get
even,
rid of your dictator!"
Can even the internet back up these claims? I mean, can you even find an article?
Yes, look, everybody can see. I mean, everybody can see the statistics.
You're just
that are
pulling
coming
stuff
up
out
there.
and throwing
Look,
it out.
everybody can see that. My God, I can't. It's unbelievable. But I'll tell you, I know you, okay?
Yes.
And if you really thought I would not say a word if we talked privately, okay?
What do you mean?
But you still think that I would mention something privately that you would say to me.
What do you mean?
Can you say things to me privately that you believe that I will not tell anybody?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
Then when I asked you the other day, did you think that this guy named Trump was crazy? You said no.
What do you mean, did I say no? I do think he's slightly crazy.
And you're going to vote for him?
Well, yeah, I think Hillary's crazy too.
Excuse me. He's slightly crazy. I'm going to vote for him. I'll tell you what.
Well, can I back up? Let me just make my point.
No,
Just
you like
give
me.
a-
I like you.
give me
I
a-
promise I won't repeat what you said.
Give me a little bit of space here.
All right.
The reason that we both find ourselves in a tough situation.
Not me.
You are in a tough situation.
No, I'm not at all.
Did you vote for Hillary when she was running against Barack back in 2008?
Yes, I did actually.
You did?
I did, yeah.
Right, well, that's on you.
No, I did.
That's between you and
God.
and your God.
And good, okay.
So, but the thing that drives me nuts about this current situation is that, do we have, kind of figuring out which one's the lesser of two evils? Absolutely. But then we take a look and, Hillary's pushing this big Syrian situation, the refugees. We have to take the refugees in. It's the humanitarian thing to do. Well, geez, how did this humanitarian refugee situation start? It started because Hillary Clinton, as Secretary of the State, felt the need to continue the Bush doctrine of regime change. So she toppled the regime in Libya, and then toppled the regime
Oh, she was president,
in Syria.
right? She was president.
Secretary of State.
No, she was president.
Secretary of State.
So she made the decision to do this.
I don't think there's any question that Barack
No,
Obama deferred greatly to her.
No, hold on a second.
Yeah.
You said she did this. She didn't do it. The President of the United States did it. She didn't do it.
Secretary of State
Oh,
Hillary Clinton,
and by the way,
in charge of foreign policy.
And by the way, Trump said
You told
it
me-
was her fault that ISIS is
You
in
told
existence.
me that because Hillary Clinton was a first lady, a former senator, and Secretary of State, that she was the most qualified candidate
Absolutely.
in the history of the country to be president of the United States.
I would, yes, I would say so.
So
How much history do you read?
you've
How
told-
much history do you read?
decent amount.
Okay, you read all the presidents?
Not all of them.
Me
but-
either. Okay, go ahead.
No, but my point being is she was Secretary of State in charge of foreign policy under Barack's first term. She made the decisions and pushed for, I think, in my opinion, against
Can't say
Barack's
that.
better judgment.
It's the president who makes the
But we
decisions.
talk about campaigning. We talk about campaigning.
Don't, I know, but let's get things
I'm
on
gonna- let me-
a thing that's
Let me
correct.
just finish.
She
Let me
did
finish.
not
Let
do
me
it.
finish. Let me finish. Barack Obama, one of the things that I appreciated about Barack when he was out campaigning, at that point in time, world was at war, Bush presidency hadn't been very transparent. You know, weapons of mass destruction going into Iraq, we felt we had been deceived. I can admit these things. But Barack came and said, I'm going to pull our troops home. We're not going to go and get involved in these foreign conflicts anymore. That was something that I looked forward to seeing what the other side was going to do in power. Barack comes into power, but then he names war hawk Hillary Clinton as his Secretary of State.
All right, okay.
And then I see a complete difference between the Barack that I saw campaigning and the Barack that was President of the United States. That's why I don't think Barack was the one that was really pushing for these hawkish policies.
well,
it's Hillary the war hawk Clinton.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know there will not be a wall built, and Mexico is definitely not going to pay for it. You talk about lies. But hold on a second. If you're president, you make those decisions. If you want to say that she agreed with the president and went forth with this, hey, I'll go on that with you. But let me ask you a question. How did this all come about?
What do you mean?
Well, Libya, why did that take place?
Because we were trying to trying to topple Gaddafi because there were significant European oil interests, and Gaddafi didn't want to sell his oil to Europe anymore. That's exactly what happened.
It was because of Iraq.
No, Libya has nothing to do
Because
with Iraq.
yes. Do you think Barack Obama would go in there for no reason? For what? Oil?
But Libya is a separate country from
Why
Iraq.
do you say stuff like that?
I'm trying to be
I like
forthright.
you. You're
I
a
like
good
you
guy.
too. But can you explain to me how toppling Gaddafi, something that Bush could have done during his presidency, opted not to go into Libya, how you're tying that and lassoing that around the Bush doctrine and the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan?
I am saying to you,
no troops under Bush were ever sent to Libya.
Let me say something that is truthful. She was not president of the United States. She did not make the decision to go
So your
there.
argument is that
my argument quite simply is she took what the president wanted and she did exactly what the president asked. Now, didn't turn out so good? Okay. Going over there didn't turn out so good. There's God again.
Well, but if you're
Yeah.
telling me that she's this great executive and has excellent judgment and executive experience
Excuse
because
me,
of the position she's been in,
excuse me.
but then you absolve her of all of her mistakes,
Yeah, hold on a second.
she's not.
If you have a candidate who makes the comment, and this is what really turned me off.
Yes.
He said at the beginning, if we give Japan the bomb, they can protect themselves, and we don't have to spend so much money protecting Japan.
Because it does beg the question, why do we have such a significant military presence in a
Do you
foreign
know
country?
why you don't give them the bomb? My son is living in Japan.
Do you
Excuse me, in China.
Do you disagree with giving Israel the bomb?
No, let me tell you.
Yeah.
They hate Japan because of what Japan did when they invaded China many years ago. Weekly, this thing's talked. There are protests on it. Do you really honestly think that China would let Japan?
I don't. No, I don't.
No. Do you think it would be like, the
The
Cuban?
Cuban. I do.
Do you really?
I do.
What do you think Trump would do?
I don't think Trump's actually going to give Japan the bomb.
No.
I do not.
No. I'll tell you what would happen. If he got elected and said, I'm considering it, 500,000 troops from China would take over Japan within 72 hours, probably without a shot. Gee, that's good. Oh, and while they're at it, they really hate, Taiwan. Let's go get Taiwan. Anything else around there you think they want?
I agree that giving Japan a nuclear weapon would probably not be the best use of our foreign commitments to our allies.
I'll tell you, but
I want to stress this, Ken. Like, we have so many military bases throughout the world in foreign countries where we're paying for their militaries. Essentially, we keep Canada safe, okay? We keep most of Europe safe. The problem I have is that then those countries go and they say, oh, look at all these fantastic programs we have. Look at all the things we can distribute to our society. But they have like zero military spending. And they all come and beat up on Big Brother. And so here at home, we're supposed to carry all this military debt across the world in addition to giving all sorts of social welfare programs.
Do you know why we do that?
It's not sustainable.
No, do you know why we do that?
Why we do what?
What do you mean? You just gave me a speech about...
Because one of the things that I hear constantly, not necessarily from you, but from some of my Democrat friends is, why does Denmark have such a great program? Why does Canada have such a great healthcare program? Why are they able to have free medicine and so on and so forth? Well, again, when you're not spending, is it almost 2/5 of your budget on military spending every single cycle? It leaves a lot of money.
Hold on. If Al Baldessaro truly was here, he'd beat you up because he wants more spending on military.
Well, that's the difference between me and Al.
Yeah,
I like having a nice, powerful
right.
military, but I don't think we need to be all over the world.
When he said that about giving Japan the bomb, knowing what I knew at that very moment, all I could think of was the China military are going in and they're setting up invasion if this does take place. It won't take place because he's not that stupid, let's hope so. But just to say that, set the whole military thing into play with China. Is that smart?
You're acting as though I'm going to sit here and defend every single thing Donald Trump has said. There's stuff that I like that he's brought to the table, and there's stuff I don't like that he's brought to the table.
I know, but that's so basic. And by the way, if let's just say a fight did take place, you know who their ally is?
Who?
Russia. So
okay.
Russia, because they're together, and guess what? Russia's giving oil to China because it's easy. So do you think?
So again, I agree with you. That's a ludicrous thought process.
World War III?
That's a ludicrous thought process. He probably shouldn't have said it. But I would fire back at the same thing with you in terms of Hillary's open border ideas and take a look at all the turmoil.
Excuse me, open border?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Excuse me.
Open borders.
Open borders.
Yes.
Would you like
Hillary is 100% globalist.
Really?
Absolutely.
Open borders?
Yes.
Between Mexico and?
Basically between the United States and the world.
Oh, just open borders?
Open borders.
You know something?
Come as you are.
You know something? I have some knowledge about politics. I read it, I study it, I look at it. I even think about it before I come in here a little. I never heard that. You mean open
you brought
borders?
You brought out your PolitiFact on me.
Are you telling me
not only
not a fence, but a bridge coming into the United States? A physical bridge?
You think, okay, and
Build a bridge, not a wall.
Listen, it's...
I love God.
God is fantastic.
God is...
Yeah, well, he's getting upset with you.
Hopefully not. But,
no, it's me. I get struck down once a program.
But there is a way to take a look at this, and a rational thought process. I agree with lawful immigration.
Please.
Think of it this way.
There's a sane way of looking and saying that Hillary Clinton
do you not
says
think we should secure the
open
borders?
all the borders.
Do you not think we should secure the borders?
Of course we should secure the borders.
Do you think only lawful immigrants should be in this country?
By the way, it takes 2 years for anyone refugee from any country to come in to the United States. That's how much they're vetted. But to him, they're not vetted at all.
Listen, I have a great deal of respect for you. I just think that this utopia that I know you're striving for, where everybody loves each other and gets together and you put folks in a room and everyone just hugs it out and it's fantastic. We live in a very, very tolerant country, one of the most tolerant countries on the planet, okay? Taking hundreds of thousands of people from one of the most intolerant places in the world, where they treat women, homosexuals, Christians, with absolute disdain and hatred in many of these countries, Do you think that there's going to be some kind of potentially culture shock,
Yeah.
just picking people up in the hordes and then bringing and dropping them off?
Let me repeat that.
Yes.
Any country, refugees coming into the United States,
Yes.
it's a 2-year process here in the United States. 2 years, and you're saying they just got to pick them up and bring them in. I'll tell you who did that, and they're in trouble. Germany. Germany's in big trouble.
Oh wow, you're admitting that one of your liberal nation
They didn't
friends
vet anybody. They didn't vet anybody.
That's why England left the EU, is because they actually wanted to have some say. Do you disagree with the Brexit?
Are you kidding me?
But you just said
Oh yeah. I'll tell you what. Yeah,
it's the problem that we have right now is that between the two parties, we're both trying to constantly demonize each other. I think there's a much more rational middle ground debate to be had, and I think that a lot of what we're seeing take place over in Europe is going to happen in the United States if we accelerate the refugee process like we keep on reading about in the papers. That's one of Obama's goals over the last 6 months of his presidency. That's something that he stated. He believes in it. Listen, I'm not putting Barack Obama down. I don't think he's trying to ruin the country. I think he has a vision for more of a global world, a global embrace. I think he thinks he's doing the right thing by helping these folks out that need help, and a lot of them do, and a lot of them are good people. But I think he's going about it the wrong way.
Let me see. I've been good to you. I've let you speak.
Yes, you have today.
All
I
right,
appreciate
let me
that.
try one more time.
Yeah.
From any country, it takes 2 years of vetting to get in here. You guys are saying open borders, everybody runs in, and that is wrong, and that is a lie, and nobody should say that.
Can I ask you a question, though? Like
Fact. Give me a fact.
I have to look it up. I can't say for sure that's 2 years. So it might be. You know, I put in the good the GID. if I plug in the GIDS equation, it probably comes up around like a year. Okay, so usually add about double to the statement. But
geez, I really wonder if our people who are vetting them, oh, you only got one gun? Come on in. You've only killed 9. Come on in.
Look at it this way, and again, you know, we like to understand, have some commonality, some basis of underlying facts so that we can have rational debate. Do you really, really believe in countries like Libya, like Syria, in which the government is basically completely shut down? You don't have running internet in certain areas, government papers to be issued.
Go ahead.
How could you possibly do a full successful vetting of somebody without any file on those people to take from the governments that are almost completely defunct in certain areas?
Excuse me. You're under the impression
Yes,
that there will be terrorists.
absolutely.
Now, I gave you a good statistic,
You did. What was that?
and out of 8 billion people,
That's not a good.
for you
that's,
to get
I have to be
killed
honest
by
with
a
you.
terrorist,
I have to be honest with you. I love you to
would
death. That was one of the worst
have
statistics you've ever given me.
to win the lottery 10 years in a row
Birthday.
on your birthday.
What is it? You get about 15 Pinocchios from PolitiFact on that one. I'm sorry. There's just no way that math works
Excuse
out.
me?
Tell that to other people that were killed by
Oh
terrorists.
my God!
Ken,
Look what I
Ken,
have.
I want for the viewers out there in Nashua. If you only have 8 billion people to work with, and every day someone is basically dying from terrorism, your odds are actually less than 1 in 8 billion to die on a daily basis. So, winning the lottery every day.
Excuse me,
I'm being honest. I'm pointing it out.
less than 8 billion. Okay.
1 in 8 billion.
7 billion is the.
My point being is, if there's multiple people dying every day from terrorism somewhere in the world, your odds of dying from a terrorist are significantly less than 1 in 8
Why?
billion. Why?
No, why? Here in the United States. Let's keep it in the United States.
No, I would still imagine it's a very, very, like, my odds are probably greater of dying in like a plane crash or something like
Than
that.
getting killed by terrorists.
Right, but not winning the lottery 10 years in a row on my birthday. That was.
Okay. 4 years in a row.
See,
on your
you're just
birthday.
pulling, like, you're like, oh, like, what's
Excuse
something, what's a good analogy I can use? What's
Hey,
some,
God,
what's some
give
good,
him an analogy. You can speak. God will give you.
Pulling it out of his butt.
yeah.
I'm pulling it out of my butt.
Can we
There
say
you
butt
go.
on Nashua
Here we
television?
go. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to talk about Al in a moment because, boy, you talk about, oh, my God. Anyway, look, I'll tell you what.
Yes.
Both candidates are flawed. We know that.
That's all. Thank you.
Okay. if you turn around and put on the table
Yeah.
and put all their accomplishments and all their bad deeds,
Yes.
who would you want running the United States and doing foreign policy?
Well, again, we're coming at it from two different perspectives. I know that a vote for Hillary does nothing to advance the American vision that I have. I don't think Trump advances
And the American vision is what?
less regulation, lower taxes,
Is business
more
good?
prosperity.
Business good for you?
Yeah, business is good for me
Why?
because I work really, really hard.
And Barack Obama 8 years ago came in.
I do want to say, like,
The business isn't that good.
everything- I want to thank the president right now. If you're watching, Mr. Obama, even though I started my business before you came to office, like, it never could have taken off without your efforts and the additional taxes and healthcare costs, everything else you put in place. The additional regulations have been fantastic.
And because of we're in 3 wars, do you think that could, we need a little
I
extra
just thank
money?
the president for helping me have a successful business.
Okay, you weren't joking?
No, yeah, I didn't build that.
Okay, well, you're not going to vote for it. I know. I'll tell you what. We're not stupid people.
Right.
Okay? If you weren't there for 2012, and that is when Bill O'Brien became Speaker
Yes.
and had a majority.
Well, it's 2010 he became
All right.
Speaker.
297 Republicans
Yes.
against 103, and I was one of them.
Yeah, no, I know.
If you want to see what people like yourself and what you believe,
Well, my party is
there you go.
vastly different from
And
your party.
excuse me, and you
Because one thing you guys do very, very well, and some things I like about you, some things I don't like about your party. One thing, you guys are always together on like every single issue. The way I look at the Republican Party, it's like 15 parties kind of combined. It's like an anti-Democrat party. I mean, if you take a look at the arguments that we can't even, like, take a look at the State House right now. How many different factions are there right now in the Republican majority? Meaning that it's usually
I know
the
that's
extreme.
that's
But if you look at
crazy.
every vote, it's
That- crazy.
the moderates,
It's crazy.
teaming up with all the Democrats
Yeah,
to a
okay.
person
Would
to
you
get every single bill you want passed.
Would you? Well, the idea is that you get to know people. That's how it works, and you must make friends with Republicans and Democrats to get anything through.
But I would say there's much more
And-
fighting
and-
in Concord.
and
For
I-
the viewers at home, there's much more fighting in Concord between Republican factions than between any faction of Republicans and Democrats.
Well, yeah, you're so apart, but yet this guy comes in and says these most ridiculous things, and you guys are united?
So let me focus on the positive. You focused on the positive for your candidate.
That's positive?
The positive I'll bring to the table right now is that last night watching that convention, I'm a big supporter of the fact that the GOP has had a very, very small tent for a long period of time.
Gay people?
Absolutely. Last night was a huge victory for my wing of the party that wants to be inclusive
And there was some
libertarian.
booze.
There was no booze.
There was
No,
booze.
there was
There
not.
were booze, a lot of booze.
I heard no booze whatsoever last night. I haven't even seen the mainstream media
Excuse me.
report booze.
And this is what year, 2016?
But it doesn't matter. That's
And
come
the
late.
Democratic Party
Like
has been
finally, and then I heard
the
a presidential
wait, so-
candidate
and the
for the
de-
Republicans reach
de-
out to
demo-
inner city folks and minorities and talking about the plight that they've experienced.
in the Democrats
reaching out to
been
union members and
Democrat-
blue-collar
Well,
folks.
I'm glad you're doing it, because what you're doing is what the Democrats have been doing for 40 years. All the good bills that ever passed have been by Democrats to help people, and name one that the Republicans have done.
It's a newer brand of republicanism that is more focused on solving the national deficit, bringing in more resources for this country, bringing back jobs to this country,
Cutting taxes,
less regulation.
bringing down the
And
national debt.
we're not having debates.
And where's the
We're
money?
not having debates
and
about
where's
social
the
issues.
money going to come? Oh, we shouldn't talk about social issues?
But I'm just saying we're not having debates. That to me is a step forward for
I
Republicans.
see. Well, if you think having one gay person stand up in 200 years, where many men and women gay have been in the Democratic Party for 100 years,
I
and
have-
they've been accepted, and you just accepted them last
Whoa,
night.
whoa. Let's not take back your inclusionism 100 years, okay? Last time I checked, the party of Lincoln's the one that that started the whole inclusive thing. You guys were a little bit
And,
bit late to the game on that
and
one.
do
I'm
you
just gonna be
really
honest
think
with you guys were a little bit like, hey,
do you really
we're
think,
not sure about this civil rights thing.
Were you ever a Democrat?
Was I?
Yeah.
I was an independent for a while.
All right, okay, you're a Democrat. All right, wait a minute. How about what's it? Well, Trump. He was a Democrat once.
Yes,
wasn't
he was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
He still has a lot of Democrat
And do you
platform.
think Abraham Lincoln today would be a Republican?
Yeah, I do. I do, absolutely.
No.
Absolutely. You know, well, I mean, he'd be an establishment Republican.
A what?
An establishment Republican.
Okay. There's so many things that he said last night that were incorrect.
Like what?
Well,
Because you were.
Hillary Clinton's the one who started ISIS.
I don't remember him saying that.
Oh
last
yeah.
night.
Oh yeah. If it wasn't for Hillary Clinton, there'd
He never
be
said.
no ISIS.
He never said Hillary started ISIS. I think what he was trying to point out was the fact that Obama and his team declared that ISIS was the JV team, basically a fly to be swatted away, and that when Barack came into office, ISIS wasn't even on the map. It was Al Qaeda, and now ISIS
okay, no, wait a minute.
is
Wait a
across
minute.
the world.
She said it was because of her that ISIS.
See, again, he's pointing towards foreign policy decisions that Hillary was involved in that led to the growth of the single
Well, how
largest
did it come,
terrorist
how,
threat
how,
we've
how
ever
did it
faced.
come about?
I mean, how did it come about?
Well, ISIS. Where did it come from?
Came from the Middle East.
No, I know that, but from what administration? Let it grow. Started it.
I'm not trying to excuse the Bush administration for what they've done in the Middle East.
Okay, so let's get this straight.
But I will
when you
point
hear
out, I
him
will
make
point
a
out
statement like
that
that's a lie.
but we've got back-to-back administrations which have grown the threat.
How do you get it that they've grown the threat?
Tell
me how they've grown.
Because in
ISIS.
2008, when Barack Obama was running for president, no one had even heard of ISIS before.
2008.
Yes, that is a new development. They started to show their head
they
in 2009.
haven't heard about it, but ISIS did exist and it was mentioned.
I'd never heard of ISIS prior to 2009.
All right. So
my point being,
it came because of the Bush administration.
because reckless
It
foreign
came
policy by the
became-
previous two
and it
administrations,
came
one of which Hillary was a part of.
because of Iraq. That's why. That's the reason why how ISIS came about.
Well, but it couldn't have also been, again, I mean, if you look at the countries in which they're most active, which are Syria and Libya, not Iraq, and I'm not excusing the Bush administration. It's reckless foreign policy. It's this policy of idea of the United States can put in puppet dictators wherever they so damn well please.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is B for Bot. This is K for Ken.
Your name's Ken. Yeah.
And G.
You serve on commerce.
And F. Okay, this is what we're going to do.
Sure.
We're going to have the lie sheet. All right?
Who's going to be judge and jury? Is God going to judge, or
No,
are you going to be
no,
judge?
no. The lie sheet. So you better show up every week. Ladies, this is the lie sheet. From now on, the person who lies the most, don't you vote for him. The person who votes the less, maybe you don't want to vote for him, don't vote. But don't vote for the person who lies. That's it. We got the lie list.
So does that mean I can get my interns to be doing the fact checking as you guys speak? I've been wanting to do that for 3 years now.
I would agree to God fact checking us.
I love it. I got God. Yeah. Oh, one thing. I did bring Bill O'Brien up in a negative way. I just want to make this very clear that after he became, a speaker and then was no longer speaker.
Yes.
He was co-host for 31 shows with me. He was a real smart individual who, what I've always said to Democrats, he got elected freely. He got elected freely at the Speaker of the House.
Right.
And he did what he wanted, and we didn't like it. But
Yeah,
as far as him being a gentleman and helping a lot of people out personally and not mentioning it, I've got to tell you, I will give him that.
Well, it's because you're an honorable man, so.
And also, when he came in as Speaker, all right,
Yes.
I think it was 168 new people came in. It was like herding chickens. He became the Speaker in 3 terms, by the way. So if I make fun, it's because I like making fun. But no,
I'm gonna get Bill on my back.
I hope he's, thinks of me as a friend because I do.
He absolutely does. But you're a very honorable person, and I think like what we're working on here when we talk commerce up at the State House is a good example of the fact that we don't vilify each other. We have very different opinions in terms of the best direction of the state. But you see the state in a certain direction, and you're passionate about that. I see the state in another direction, I'm passionate about that. But you got really sick in terms of how when you talk about extremist politics.
Are you running again?
Yeah.
Did anyone in banking or insurance give you any? Have they given you any money to run?
No, I haven't got any money from anybody from those areas.
Change the subject.
Okay.
No,
Back to what you were saying.
no.
Well, which was it? Okay, all right.
But my point is that we sit here and we look at the national news media, Twitter, Facebook, all sort of stuff, and everyone's saying, "Oh, geez, look how extreme it's gotten." But the two mainstream parties are the ones that they fuel the fire during election season. They vilify each other's candidates, which by and large, most of the time, these are both good people that started up in the State House up in Concord. Again, they have different visions, but the parties are just pushing this narrative right now, which is, oh, if you don't vote for this candidate, it's going to end the world, and it's going to be terrible. Like, the world's not going to end.
If you're talking about Trump,
But
all right, in that one comment about Japan and
I
China.
would agree with you. It's a reckless
If
comment. But
he
it's how is this different?
didn't-
How is
Excuse
this
me,
different?
That's so basic. If he didn't know that, then he didn't read about the Kennedy Cuban thing. If he didn't know that little, all right? In fact, he
Fine.
admitted he hasn't read the Constitution.
We
All right,
we
okay.
can't get around Trump, but
All right.
look how nasty this Ayotte Hassan fight is going to get. All right. Okay, I don't have a particularly great relationship with Senator Ayotte. I know the governor somewhat from up at the State House, but my dealings with them, they're both nice people. I don't think they have nefarious intentions. It's just, but it's going to get really, really nasty. And it's going to cause people to get really, really frustrated because they're going to want people at home thinking, oh, this is the reason that things aren't going well for me, or this is something I get really angry about. Or you see even Baldessaro's comments at the convention.
We'll get to that in a moment.
But it's just getting like,
Did I get a bill passed that, regarding FRM?
Yeah.
Was that pretty hard to do that?
Yes.
Was that difficult? You
Yeah,
know what?
it
It was
was.
6 years.
Yeah, it was very difficult.
Right. Very difficult.
Yeah.
In fact, the governor signed it, but would not have a public signing. That's how much she doesn't like me. Okay? Kelly Ayotte was the attorney general when this was going on.
My point being.
Let me finish. She sat no more than that camera away, and I asked her if she knew about it, and she said, absolutely not. So she was either lying because we knew people were talking in her office to the attorney general, to the FBI. We also know an attorney who worked there came back and warned them. She either lied or she didn't know. If she didn't know, then she has to be the worst attorney general in the history of this state.
Okay. So you have a specific instance that you've pointed. Fine, that's fine. But I'm just saying, if you take a look at the nasty TV ads that are about to just bombard this state, they're not going to focus most likely on FRM because that's old news in politics world, right?
Yeah.
It's not current.
2 people committed
So they're
suicide
gonna,
over it.
you
So,
know,
I have
They're
a
going to
feeling-
focus on gun votes and women's rights and all sorts of stuff.
And you don't think FRM would come up, financial resource mortgages?
You see, but you have a legitimate gripe. I see why you're angry.
No,
with
that's
Kelly.
not legitimate gripe. Doing a little fact checking, history, going down and talking
I'm
to the
agreeing
people
with-
in finances. You know what they said to me?
I'm agreeing
You're
with you.
becoming a financial historian. I said, what's that? And they said, you're going back to sea, taking one pot. And do you know
People
what?
around the State House
do you
say
know
much
how
nicer
far,
things to
you
you
know
than
how
I do,
far
so.
it went back? Worse than FRM. Civil War. Okay, so that's
You've
that.
lost me.
No one knows what we're talking about. I'll tell you what, we have 14 minutes left, and boy, do I want to talk about Al Baldessaro. Go ahead.
No, I'm just
Your
saying.
turn.
This is where we start to find real division in this country, getting people fired up to the point, believing in a cause, losing kind of that unified kind of, that commonality between us as Americans. And so people on the left and people on the right. Al's comments, I love Al to death. But, I mean, Hillary is a former First Lady, former Secretary of State, and the current Democrat nominee. For him to say that she should be pulled out and shot in a firing line, like, I get that he's passionate, but, like, that's a very reckless thing to say. And just
Reckless?
reckless. He has the right to say it. Al's absolutely right when he says free speech, but free speech doesn't cover you for bad judgment. And I think that was poor judgment on Al's part. He's a good guy. I don't think that's, if he thought it through, I don't think that's something he actually believes. But it's just, when you see him all
He
say,
believes. No, when he.
I don't think
he
Al
believes in the freedom of speech.
Yeah, but I don't think Al actually believes that Hillary should be drawn out in the firing line and shot. I think Hillary's expressed horrendous judgment.
What did
I
he
think
say?
she's completely
What
self-serving.
did he say?
That she should be tried for treason.
So you
brought
don't
out.
think he believes it?
I don't. I think if he actually thought it through, if there was a world that existed in which this could actually happen, I don't think he would actually feel that way.
And so he
It's-
is doing a lot of work for who?
Al is his own
Trump.
man. Al is his own man.
Trump.
I do think.
In fact, he is the second in command for the veterans throughout the United States.
I'm not going to attribute his comments to Trump because Trump disavowed them. So I'm going to focus on my
I
friend.
didn't hear him.
I'm going to focus on my friend Al Baldessaro.
I didn't hear
saying
him
something that I think feeds the fire. This is no different than a couple years ago when remember Timothy Horgan said that it's too bad when Senator Stevens' plane went down to Alaska. He said it was too bad that Sarah Palin wasn't on board. Okay, same thing. And Al went and he.
Well,
and
it's not quite the same thing,
but
especially during a convention, especially when we all know.
I would agree with you that Al's comments, in my opinion, are worse than.
Should he resign?
I think Al should probably apologize. I think he should use this as a moment to say, I shouldn't have said that. I got carried away. It's a teaching moment. You could really,
If he doesn't apologize, should he resign?
No, he's up for election. The voters should just decide. He's going to get reelected in Londonderry. I mean, if the voters have an issue with him, they're going to usher him out.
You know why? He scares the hell out of him.
No, it's just no. The resigning stuff,
You know what I said to people? I said, I called Al, by the way, and I said, Al, what are you doing? Just apologize. I will not. I won't do this. I won't do that. So this is what I. My wife, she's going, he's on TV, and last night they were talking about him, and I mean, it went on. And this is what I say: if he was with Hillary Clinton, and they were arguing, if somebody stepped up with a gun, he would stand in front of her and take the bullet.
Well, that's because we know him as an individual. He's
That's
absolutely
Al
that type of guy.
Baldessaro.
That's why I don't think he actually believes the comment that came out of his mouth. I think Al sometimes, he's very passionate. He's obviously riled up, and he made a comment. I think he absolutely believes Hillary's corrupt, but I think horrendous judgment, which is what she's expressed, okay,
Deserves a firing line.
does not deserve a fire line.
Okay.
Deserves her not to be the president of the United
Okay,
States.
but if she becomes president, she should be shot?
No, not at all. Not even for a second. Just because someone's bad at their job, which is, I don't think she wanted those troops.
Bad at her job.
I think she was a terrible Secretary of State. I think, yeah. Did she
Oh my
put
Oh my God, it's just
she put some lives in danger in Benghazi. Those men lost their lives, but that's not because Hillary wanted them to lose their lives. She just is a terrible Secretary of State. Made bad calls.
There's 122 countries we have.
I think Al should continue to
There's
harp.
122 countries, and by the way, if you read about it, they had by the president.
Let's not.
It was a go.
Let's
and
not
they
argue about
didn't
Benghazi.
move,
Is one of those
and
issues
they
that
didn't move.
you and I aren't going to give any ground on that. So it's not even worth talking about. But my only point is that you can say, geez, that person has made some horrendous choices. I think Hillary's made horrendous choices, but that does not mean that she's a criminal in the sense of treason. I totally disagree with that. I think the email situation, she's very, very sloppy. I'd have a hard time.
And by the way, I want you to think about this for a moment. They're going to put a server into her house.
Yeah.
Okay? There is a former president of the United States who is her husband.
Yeah.
He has loads of security. She's a Secretary of State. I mean, there's probably 50 or 60 people. Now, I got a question.
But you act like
no.
armed officers prevent hacking.
Oh,
Like
yeah, no.
So who deleted the 33,000 emails? The security guy?
God is Hillary needs to go to confession because God is angry about those missing emails.
Hey, God, stick it. So I got a question. So they're going to call a guy up from Speedy, put in your computer for $99.
What?
They are going to have what?
Who?
People thought about security on this server? Do you know that nobody had ever, as far as they could find out, has ever hacked into their server? But you know what's interesting? They've hacked into government servers. Maybe they should find the person who put Hillary Clinton's server in and have him work for the government. Right,
I'm not following that logic.
I know, that's all.
It
Doesn't have to be logical. You don't understand.
It's a continuous trend of Hillary not having to play by the same rules as everybody else. That's all the point I'm trying to make.
Look.
Do I think they should lock her up? No.
You know,
Do I think she should be shot? Absolutely not. Do I think she's expressed terrible judgment and shouldn't be president of the United States? Absolutely.
If you have a young man or you have a young girl, turns into a lady, man, goes into politics. No, wait, no, hold on a second.
We're talking lady man?
No,
transgender
you're into
individual?
politics. And all of a sudden, somebody says...
We're going to start talking about bathrooms?
No, somebody will say, gee, I think you ought to run for governor.
Who?
You. So now you become governor completely by accident. You fell asleep. You didn't go to the polls. They voted you in. So you're governor for 15 minutes, and guess what?
What happens?
Well, a senator dies. So you become senator.
I can't appoint myself.
And completely by accident, you become vice president. All within a year.
Okay.
Are you qualified?
Am I qualified to be president?
Are you qualified to do what you're doing inside of your committee?
So if all of a sudden I became vice president, what, in a couple weeks, months, years?
My whole point is this, that she's called an insider. And you would, yes, she is. But what she did to get to where she is wasn't easy. To become the first lady of Arkansas twice, all right?
Wait, no.
The presidency.
How is that? Yeah, I could become the first lady of Arkansas by marrying the next governor. I mean, like, you know. Like,
you would become the first lady.
First man.
You heard it, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, you know what? Hey,
he's
Ken,
gonna
I'm just being me. Respect my choice.
I want that tape.
I can be whatever I want to be whenever I want to be it, okay?
And then she gets out and she becomes, you know, of all the places to run would be New York. That's tough. She becomes senator. She runs for the presidency.
I thought she was from Arkansas.
She loses.
I thought she was from Arkansas.
No,
what's she doing running for Senate?
They got to become president.
Okay.
Follow, okay?
I'm following.
All right. And now she's running again, and now she happens to be the nominee. Along the way, lots of people made mistakes, and she admits she made a lot of mistakes. Now the question is this.
I don't think I've ever heard her make an admission
Do you
of a mistake.
want somebody that qualified, or do you want somebody who is a multi-billionaire with people coming forth and saying, I hate him, he never paid me?
Do you think George W. Bush was qualified to be president of the United States?
No.
That's funny because he was a
you know,
president's son. He was a
because
governor of the largest state in the union.
Because
He was a congressman.
Hey, look, he's all, what?
Yeah, was he a
He
congressman?
didn't make Congress.
Sorry, his dad was a congressman. So
Oh
he's
my
the son of a
God,
congressman.
here we go. He wants to be the first lady of a, he's gone, okay, how can people, and but you know, I just joke with you, all right? This is, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he does sit across, and he and I went against one bill against every single person, the two of us.
We did.
And
We
we
did.
won.
Well, kind of. For a while.
We
Temporarily.
lost.
Well, temporarily. We had
All
to
right.
retain initially.
How can people get in touch with you?
It's Rep. Bart Frommuth at gmail.com. And I'm in Bedford, as you know. Up for re-election. We've got a primary. Nine looking for 6 seats.
You got a primary.
I got a big primary.
Really?
So, yeah. So, you know, if any Bedford voters are watching, Bedford Republican voters, because once we get past the primary, the general's pretty easy in Bedford. So.
Good. I mean, are you on Facebook or?
Oh yeah, I got a Facebook page. NH State Rep Bart Frommuth. Check it out. Like the
Spell
page.
your name.
B-A-R-T. Last name is F as in Frank, R-O, M as in Mary, U-T-H.
What type of name is that?
It's a German name.
German.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you an American citizen? There we go.
I'm here illegally.
All right, okay. All right, I do want to say something before we get off the air. Obviously, I always say that public TV is the place to be, simply because it is the freest place. You can say almost anything you want, and I do. A lot of it is fun, a lot of it isn't fun. TV definitely is the best place to be, is right here. Remember, so support your public access. One other thing, a lot of people know that I am the chair studying the economic impact of the arts and culture in all of the state of New Hampshire. And a person died this week, Van McLeod. For 22 years, with very little money, working many times days and days and days and years, and keeping everything together. He is somebody that you can't say enough good things. You know, you go to a funeral and you see oh, he's a good person. No. You can't tell people how good this guy was for the state of New Hampshire. But there has to be change. We're going to make some good change, and I'm sure Mr. McLeod would like it. So I wanted everyone to know that you lost a good person. My name is Ken Gidge. You can get me at, KenGidge@gmail.com, or go to Gidge World. Or I don't give my telephone number out. Well, I do, 603-8CS2, whatever. But, you know, Al sits here and tells people, come over to my house.
I'm sure he does.
Oh, he does.
He's a great guy.
But he's got guns all over the place. It scares the hell out of everybody. No. I'm sure Al will be back next week. He will not apologize. I know that much.
Well, tell him I said hello. So.
I will. And he will not. No, I'm going to call you because I got lying things here. He will be here. He will not apologize. And he will run. And he does have a right to say what he did say. But the great problem is, in my opinion, is in the heat of what's going on between the shootings in this country that are really kind of getting out of hand, we don't need somebody else stirring the pot up.
Oh, again, I don't think he meant it the way he said it. I hope he does.
What's the name of your business?
Freedom Logistics.
What is that?
It's an energy firm based in Auburn, New Hampshire.
And what do they do?
We sell electricity and natural gas.
Don't tell. You sell it.
Yeah.
You don't make it.
We do not make it.
You do not dig it up.
We're paper pushers.
Paper pushers.
Yeah.
Okay, so you push paper.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I guess we had a good time. You will. I know.
had a great time.
I know you'll come back.
I always come back. So.
Yeah. Well, this really has been good. And remember, I really feel really awful about Van McLeod dying. Oh, it's just terrible. Because here we are trying to unscramble this big mess that has taken place over 20 years, but he's kept everything going. And, oh well. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it. And we're going to see you next time, which will be next week, which will be 2 weeks from there, because they don't edit, they don't get us together. I'm trying to get rid of 33 seconds. Say something. Do you know how to sing?
No, I do not.
All right, I want you. All right, that's a wrap.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.